Hi, I'm Aarti Karan, and we have with us today Anu Kulkarni, who is a healer and has practiced several modalities.
Hi, I'm, as she said, Anu Kulkarni, and I am a healer for the last 23 years. I started my journey with hypnotherapy, and over the years, I've done a lot of modalities. So my journey actually started when I was 18 years old, and I got very interested into spirituality. What really fascinated me most was what is our thoughts? Where do we think from? How do thoughts occur in us? So that set me off into my quest to understand the mind. But I wasn't really getting my answers with the spiritual journey, though I learned a lot. And then came across an article which spoke about hypnotherapy, and I was very intrigued, and that really changed the course of my journey. And I became an energy healer because I understood the power of thought and how it influences our reality.
Wow, that's interesting. So, since you have touched base on the topic called energy, could you define what is energy, Anu? What is energy and how does it affect?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very vast topic, but to tell you quite briefly, everything is energy. The world is full of energy. Even this has energy. We have energy. The air has an energy. So, energy is basically nothing but frequency and vibrations. So, every article is an assimilation of certain frequencies. Every particle. So, I don't want to get into all the details. You can look it up and check it out. But our thoughts also have energy. If we have positive thoughts, then our energy goes high. If we have negative thoughts, obviously the energies are going to be low. Now, energy influences our reality. So, our thoughts have frequency. So you'll see certain people who are very positive, chirpy, laughing, and like even if they have a calamity on their heads, they will never express it to you because they're very strong. Because positivity brings you strength. There are some who are very negative. So even if they have everything, they're not happy because they think negative. So your reality is based on the way you think. That's the most important thing that we need to come into awareness of. So even the richest person can be miserable and the poorest person can be the happiest, depending on the way he thinks.
Absolutely. I've observed that. There are people on the street sometimes who radiate happiness and you feel attracted towards them. And I think it's a frequency that attracts you.
So that frequency
have anything got to do with it?
Yes, so frequency is based on your thought patterns. So you're creating a vibration around you. When you're thinking, we think that it's just our body. Whereas it's not our body. It is our aura, that is an energy field which is around our body. That influences and makes you attractive or a repellent. Yeah, a repellent. Like nobody wants to go someone who's grouchy and sulky and pouting and like you try to avoid those kind of people. Whereas like if you go to any party and what do you sense? The first thing you sense is the vibe of the place. What is vibe? Vibe is vibrations of the place.
Which is also a very popular and trending word these days.
Yes,
Vibe. I don't vibe
What's
with
your
it.
vibe? Yeah. So the vibe is essentially energy. What do you resonate with? What do you not resonate with? And when you're at a party, it's really fascinating when you enter a room, you don't know anybody. Supposing you enter a room but you know half the people and you don't know the other half. Without even knowing, you will gravitate towards people who have your similar energy. And you'll be amazed to know the similarity, and you'll just click and you'll just start talking, and you'll say, wow, like what's your number? You take the number down and then you start becoming friends. How does that happen? It's because your vibe around you is matching the vibe of the other person that you
So which means
towards.
if you are basically a sulky person at heart, you will go around with another sulky person?
You'll tend to, you'll get attracted to it.
Or would it be that even if you're sulky, you would get attracted towards somebody who has a higher frequency?
Yes, then that opposites always attract also. So there are sometimes people who are so positive, they can find it challenging to cheer up the other person, or the other person needs that person's energy to balance themselves out. So there are lots of permutation combinations. There's no such hard fast rule. I'm just giving you a general benchmark of what normally happens. Sometimes the positive person takes it on as a challenge to see that he changes or she changes the other person around. So there can also be an attraction. Opposites attract also, don't they? That's why you'll see couples that are so different and yet they're together, which is a challenge. They've probably taken on that contract. That's another topic to discuss later on.
Sure, we'll come back to contract.
Yes.
We need to. So, Anu, you mentioned about contract. Is that the soul contract you were talking about?
Yes, actually,
Could you throw more light on that, please?
yeah. You know what we don't realize is that before we are born, we we create a life plan, a soul plan, in which we make contracts as to who will be our parents, who will we get married or not get married, who our friends are going to be, who our family members are going to be. You choose all that before you are born. And then we come out, and that's on the basis of which our astrological charts are created. So we have a lot of help up there, where there are lots of angels, guides, spirit guides, masters, gurus, whoever is part of your soul journey. They all come together to help you decide what are the lessons you're going to learn when you are born.
Okay.
And sometimes we choose people who we may think are our enemies on earth, but actually they are your best friends. They're here to teach you something. They're here to make you a better person. And it's very challenging to understand this because you hate, say it can be your sister, brother, mother, father, husband, it could be anybody, it could be a classmate, it could be a boss and colleague relationship. And you are, always like, when you overcome that situation, when you feel pushed and you feel challenged and you get over that obstacle, you actually thank that person for teaching you something.
So, will that happen after death?
No, it happens in your life all the time.
But there are so many times you end up not liking the person till you die.
Then you haven't learned your lesson. So you will come back and play out the lesson again.
Oh, okay.
But there are many, many cases where people always say, I actually thank my boss for pushing me, or I've become so much stronger. Or my teacher, sometimes the teacher is very strict and make sure that you get your marks upgraded, and sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. But when the student passes out from college or school, he'll always go back to the teacher and thank that teacher and say, you know what, I really appreciate you being so hard on me because that really helped me to grow. So sometimes you learn your lessons, sometimes you don't.
And what are the possible lessons like that bring you back to this life again, to human life again?
Lessons never end till you understand the game. So you have to understand that you're here to play a game. It's called the game of life. And if you know that, you will play your game so much better. You'll be more detached. You won't get too entangled in it. And you'll make it fun. That's the idea of knowing what is energy, what is your mind, how do you think, how you can change your reality. It's so important to understand who you are, why are you here, what are you doing here. And once you know that, you will be very mindful. People say, na, be mindful. What is mindful? Be aware of what is it that you are thinking. Because thoughts create your reality.
So are you trying to say that if we change our thoughts, the frequency will change?
Definitely.
And if somebody is, say, very angry, and in the heat of the moment, how do you change your thought, or how do you change the frequency?
By being aware. You must be aware of why is that person yelling. First of all, pause, don't react. What we do is our ego comes in between, and if somebody is shouting, then we react to that shouting because our ego cannot take that hit. So we react, and then there is an argument, and then there is a fight, and then there are nasty things being said, and then you're just hitting out at each other. But if one doesn't react and the other keeps reacting, and you just keep observing, observe yourself, observe what the other person is saying, and then be conscious of what are you thinking? Why is that person saying that to you? There's a reason. If you just sit back and analyze and don't react, you will then start understanding that there's no need to get entangled to get the karma more and more ingrained. You can look at it and say, okay, why is this person shouting at me so much? If he has so much anger, he or she has so much anger, why is it necessary for me to react?
But what if you're already angry? How do you bring yourself to awareness?
Oh, that's another topic by itself. Awareness of who you are. You are a magnificent being, okay? But we don't think we are. So the best way to know who you are is to start first loving yourself.
Okay.
We don't love
The
ourselves.
most used and the most misunderstood term is love yourself.
Yes.
So I've read it everywhere, but it translates to basically doing what? Most people end up just shopping when you talk of love yourself, or going for a spa, or which I don't think is what you mean here, right?
No.
There's
What
a
I
deeper
mean-
meaning
yes.
to love yourself.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that, please?
So your journey in life is all about your self, not your little self, not the ego self. The ego self wants to indulge in shopping, in looking pretty, looking good. Nothing wrong with that. We all want to look pretty, we all want to look nice, and why not? But to look pretty, we have to feel good. Now, everyone looks at it in the opposite way. They think that by being pretty, they will feel good, which never happens, which is why they become shopaholics, because they will keep on buying more and more and more, thinking that makes them feel good. But actually it doesn't. It's only an insecurity of appearing to look good. But if you genuinely just look within yourself, just hug yourself. Just hug yourself. It's one of the most I don't know if people know about this, but it is an amazing therapy. Simplest therapy is just hug yourself. Initially, you're going to feel so awkward, you're going to feel so stupid. You're going to say, what do you mean love yourself? Of course I love myself, but you don't. When you start loving yourself, you will start seeing that the need to prove yourself to people outside is not as important as it is to feel good inside of you. That's the most important thing. When you start feeling good about who you are, you will stop reacting or responding to anger, because your self-worthiness will start coming up. Your cells are listening. We are very disconnected from our bodies. We think our body is separate and our mind is separate. But our mind is operating through our body, so we are very much connected, right? So when you start reconnecting to who you are by just loving yourself, your cells will start responding, you will start enjoying yourself, and you will start doing things that genuinely make you happy, not how you look to other people. And slowly, if somebody is shouting at you or is angry with you, you will realize that you're not really reacting, because you're so content with who you are within yourself. It's very difficult to explain it, but when you practice it, trust me, your whole world around you is going to change. Because when you change the way you think, the world around you will automatically change.
So which means we begin with hugging ourselves
And
and
saying that I love me. You're brushing your teeth. Thank your teeth for serving you. Look into the eyes in the mirror and say thank you. Just thank yourself for being who you are. Be in gratitude. When you're in gratitude, you will find yourself being in abundance. It's all about changing the vibrations from within you. What you change within you will spread outside of you automatically. But when we get up in the morning, we are just worried, अच्छा ऑफिस जाना है, ये करना है, वो करना है, lunch के लिए क्या बनाना है, fruit से क्या, you're all, the mind is just running. The mind will go, the mind is like fire. You can keep giving it wood, it's never going to say thank you, I've had enough, no more. It will just keep burning. So you're thinking 60,000 thoughts a day. But what are these thoughts? We are not introspecting, we are not policing. The minute you start policing your thoughts and you start directing it in a positive direction, which is inward first,
inward towards
towards
what?
loving yourself, towards thanking yourself. There are lots of people, and I was one of them. I could never like my pictures. Because I never liked myself. Most of us don't. We say, "Arey naak nahi, lambi hai. Arey ye itni hai." We'll always find faults in our pictures. When I started doing this exercise, I started loving my pictures. No matter how horrible they were, no matter how stupid they were, I said, I look nice. And I look nice because I feel good about myself. I don't care what anybody else thinks. So these little changes will start happening. And these shifts will start shifting your own energy in relationship with everyone around you. You'll see.
So the moment your relationship changes with your own self,
Yes.
the relationship with the people around you
Automatically, effortlessly will change. Trust me, I have been doing this, I've been teaching people this for the last 20 years, and the results are absolutely astounding. They cannot believe that they did not need to do anything. Just like, even if a simple thing like when you love yourself, you'll want to send love to everyone around you. So even if the other person is shouting, just send them love, send them pink light, send them ice to calm them down.
How do you do that?
Just intention. Just give your power of your thoughts. You just keep saying, okay, calm down. You don't have to tell the person to calm down. That person will get even more angry. Don't tell the person. Just
So what do you do then?
First thing I do is I just observe, and I find it very funny when the other person is angry, but I don't say it. And then I just calm the person down by, sometimes I put cold water, shower on him, and
Just
calm him down.
imaginary
Yeah,
cold water
just
going on
imaginary.
somebody's head.
Yeah, just like snowflakes falling around you. May you calm down, cool down. And within few seconds, the person is calm. Because firstly, you're using your mind and not reacting to what the other person is saying. So your energy has not got any vibration of anger hitting out at the person, right?
But so then, how did you reach this point wherein your ego stopped getting hurt?
Awareness. I started understanding how important thought is. And I started understanding that why do I need to react or prove myself to somebody else?
I am what I am. I'm sufficient.
Because I love myself. I don't need to prove anything to anyone else. Why do we want to prove anything to anybody else? Because we want validation. We want acknowledgement. Because we don't feel worthy enough within us. So we want someone else to tell us that. Isn't that so?
Yeah.
We always want appreciation. That's why you dress up well, so that people appreciate you. And you feel so good when someone's complimenting you. Because inside you, you're not feeling good enough. When you feel good enough, why do you think people like these gurus or intellectuals or who are really, really intelligent, they really focus on, looking spiffed up. They look decent. Nobody's saying they have to look ruffled and, untidy. But they don't go all out to do, look magnificent and perfect. They're just happy being who they are. And that itself is so attractive as a quality.
They're still magnetic.
Yeah, they're magnetic because of the way they think. It's got nothing to do, and automatically when the way you think makes you magnetic, even by your looks, people will find you looking magnetic.
So you had spoken about aura. Are you trying to say that the aura changes?
Aura is basically, it's much smaller, it's just around you, and then your energy field is 7.5 meters in diameter, which is much bigger. So you are basically, you are a spiritual being in a human body. You must have heard this, a lot of people say
Yeah.
this, but this is what it means. Your mind is so vast that it is 7.5 meters in diameter around your body. So when a person walks in, or whenever you meet a person, instantly you get a vibe, right? You get a vibe much earlier than when the person even comes to shake your hands. You just know, oh wow, this guy looks, powerful, or not so good, That vibe is what your energy vibing is doing with that energy vibing first.
Before two
Before the
people have even
mind
come
processes
closer.
it. Yeah, that's before the mind even processes it. Then the mind works through your brain, which is your intellectual mind. You have three minds. You have your heart mind, you have your gut mind, and you have your logical thinking analytical mind.
Please tell us more about it.
Well, this is just the way you function. This is your physiology. So
What's a gut mind?
the gut can be, some people are very intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you have an exam, what happens? You get nervous.
Some people I've heard
And
get
you have
motions.
you get loose motions.
Yeah.
That's the gut. That's the gut playing up. It's the weakness that is, then
So you mean to say anxiety
Yeah.
affects your gut mind?
yes.
And what happens if positive frequencies affect your gut mind? How do you feel?
You feel strong, you can digest anything.
Okay.
You
and
have the
what's-
power to absorb anything because your gut is your navel area, So it's strong. If it's strong, then nothing bothers you. If it is weak, then you tend to get anxious, and then your stomach starts rumbling, and you get nervous. It can also happen with the heart. So if you are a negative thinking person, or you don't focus on your feelings and emotions, then you become very anxious and you become very stressed out. So it's a combination. You can't just say only one works better than the other. Everything works. In fact, your heart is the most powerful of all because it's where your soul resides. Your higher heart is in your heart center. And it's where your soul energy really resides. Some believe it's the navel, some believe there's no real. I would say it's all over in every cell of your body. We are all entangled and together. But the heart is 5,000 times more powerful than your intellectual, logical thinking mind. So if you focus on your emotions and you keep them in control, which is when I say you love yourself, that's the best way you control your emotions. Because then you do not get imbalanced, and then the mind operates with clarity. The intellectual mind can operate, with clarity. The heart mind operates with the feeling body, which is also intuitive, and operates with the gut mind. So it's some people who have strong gut, some people have strong heart, some people have a strong intellect, But if there is a combination which is in perfect alignment and balance, then your activities in life can be so much more productive.
Okay. And I wanted to know if negative thoughts could also affect your cells in a negative way.
Yeah, your cells are constantly governed by your thoughts and emotions. What happens is when you continuously think a particular thought, it creates an emotion. A constant thinking, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, will then create an emotion of dislike.
And
And if you continue to say, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it, then it becomes hate. Then the hate starts affecting the energy centers in your body, which is your chakras. And it starts blocking those chakras. Because your hate is a low vibration. So your chakras normally move in a positive direction, which is clockwise. Okay? When you're giving negative thoughts constantly, then the vibrations start becoming slower and slower, slower and slower, and then they start going anti-clockwise.
Wow. And
So
then?
then it starts blocking your chakras. So your energy set, then your vibrations start going down. Then you will start manifesting pain in your body. Now the nature of thoughts will go to that particular chakra. If it's financial issues, it will affect your root chakra. If it is don't enjoy partying, don't enjoy talking to people, it will affect your sacral chakra. So every chakra has a function. If you block those emotions, they will go and block those chakras, and then it will manifest as pain in the body. When it manifests as pain in the body, you run to a doctor. No offense here, please go to every doctor. But the doctor is treating your hardware. He is not treating your software. Many doctors have started now looking at the software. They call it psychosomatic. And some of them do give you anti-anxiety medications or whatever to see that the anxiety levels come down, so that your thoughts start becoming less and you become calmer, so that that automatically also heals.
Okay.
So the body is actually a manifestation of your thoughts and emotions.
And do you think we could work vice versa? If we start treating the chakras, the problems start getting, the thoughts also change? No. Yes.
It does for a while, but then if you don't train your mind to think differently, it'll constantly come back
to the same thing again.
So as I keep saying, if you start loving yourself as a daily practice, it'll really keep consistently changing your nature. And that by itself will change your relationship with yourself as well as with those around you. And when your relationships change around you, you will notice a shift, and you'll prefer that change rather than going back to the old change. So it's an internal process. So when it's an internal awareness, when that inner awareness keeps expanding, you will not believe that love is the highest energy. Nobody understands this. And we don't even know what is love. Love is not conditional love. Love is unconditional, which is you don't have any purpose of loving. So when there is no purpose of loving, that is the purest love. And that when you start loving, it raises your frequency so much that your whole world starts expanding into a totally different dimension of awareness. What is dimension? It is nothing but an expansion of awareness. And that love is so magnetic, magnificent, that you will keep growing in that love.
So how do you develop unconditional love? First, I think to begin with, one would start with conditional love for your near and dear ones, say for your family members or for your children, for your husband, for your parents, for your friends, and then you come to unconditional love? Or
It'll just happen. The more you love yourself, the more your quality of your love will start becoming finer and better, and it will just automatically start flowing to other people.
So
It's
you're
not something
saying
that
it
you
all-
have to. It's not something that you have to make an effort towards. What I'm trying to say, it's just make an effort towards loving yourself more. Like even if you just started the journey and you say, okay, I don't know what you mean by love yourself, but I'm going to do it anyway. You just fake it till you make it kind of a thing. Go ahead and do it, because within 21 days, if you do it, trust me, you will see a change in your personality.
And you can feel it yourself.
You'll automatically start feeling it yourself. Then suddenly you realize, that guy yelled at me. I didn't react. How come? And then you realize, oh yeah, because I'm starting to love myself, so I'm starting to feel better. When you feel better, no one can pull you down. When a pillar is strong, you can't just try to break it down. It requires a lot of effort. So you're basically creating a pillar of strength within you with the power of love. Then nobody can knock you down. And the more you have love for yourself, the more you will feel like giving that love to others. Because then you'll say, hey, this really feels good. And you'll start telling other people about it. And then that person will start 10 out of 10, 5, 2, 1 will start practicing it. But that practice will change the vibration of the world.
While you were talking this, I could imagine a bucket, a person holding a bucket which is empty. He is so craving for love that he cannot give it to the world.
Exactly.
And when he starts loving himself and the
That's
bucket
what-
starts getting full, then when he has so much, he starts distributing because he is full of it now.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful analogy. That you said it all.
That's interesting. So, if we may ask, what's the message to the viewers? How should they begin by loving themselves? To begin with, they start by hugging themselves
Yes.
and telling each cell of their body that I love myself. I love my eyes, I love my hair, I love the way I dress, I love myself for each and everything that I have, for each and every
Yeah, because you created you. Nobody, we all think that, there's a God up there who created us. No, we created ourselves by ourselves. God is only the supporting factor. God is the energy that is everywhere. So why isn't God in your heart? We never think God is in our heart. We think God is in a temple, God is in a picture, God is in a frame. And, we never think that God is within us. So when you're loving yourself, you're actually loving the God within you. Your soul is your God.
wow, that's so beautiful. When you love yourself, you love the God within yourself.
Yes. So when you're angry, you're actually offending the God within you. So when you look at life like that, you'll never be angry.
Wow, that's really profound. So Anu, we have somebody from the audience who's interested in asking you a question.
Yeah, my question is for someone in my generation, which would be a millennial or a Gen Z or a Gen Alpha or Beta or any generation below that. Our lives are, for majority of it, a lot of it is on social media, where we open ourselves up to having people see what we're doing in our lives, and maybe they can comment on it, they can appreciate it. So I think, given that the generations coming to be are so much more dependent on what everyone else thinks about their life, what would be your advice to that generation on how they can start to love themselves and start figuring out what that process even looks like?
Yeah, I know it's a very scary thing that I see the younger generation
That's
is
quite a valid
invested.
point actually, what
Yeah.
you has expressed.
Absolutely. In fact, it's happening to our children, and it's happening to us too, because we are also told, why don't you start an Instagram, program? And so I said, okay, and I ventured into it, but I actually got stressed because there's just so much information out there, and each one is trying to be better, so that I can understand what the younger generation feels. They are like inundated with so much information. So the first thing I would say in a situation like this, which I think, from my perspective, is discipline the time that you spend on Instagram, and take only that much that helps you to grow. Don't get invested in what the other person is doing, because everyone is doing something or the other, and you can't be everywhere. You can't be on a holiday to Spain and be in Paris and be in a fashion show and be at a dress rehearsal or whatever. You can't be everywhere. You've got to see what is it that resonates with you. What do you like about yourself? Keep focusing at least half an hour to yourself and introspect. What is my journey? What do I want to do in life, rather than seeing what others are doing in their lives. You don't have to prove a point to anybody else. Prove a point to yourself first. As I keep saying, the journey is about you, but we are so invested in everybody else's journey, we get lost in it. So why get lost? Because it's not taking you anywhere. It's only making you more stressed, more frustrated. Then you feel like a failure. So your self-worthiness goes in for a dive rather than going up.
So Anu, since you spoke of failure, it reminds me, with this generation, you see so many depression cases and you see so many suicides. Even if somebody has been practicing loving themselves, when they taste failure, I think they come down to not loving themselves enough, and that takes them into depression. And you already know what's the rate of suicide these days in the younger generation. So how does one stop going down the lane, or like you said, you should not it should not take a dive, instead you go up. How do you constantly love yourself? So when you have seen the change in 21 days time, you loved yourself, you saw the frequency changing, your aura changes, your the diameter of your the field changes, the energy field changes. But then after 21 days, are you trying to say it's a constant process that one keeps
Oh
loving?
yes, no. It's a constant process which 21 days they say if you do anything for 21 days, you'll do it for the rest of your life. So it's a constant endeavor to focus on yourself first rather than focus. We go to sleep with Instagram, we get up with Instagram, we get up with social media, Facebook, whatever it is. You're getting up and you're not even giving yourself a chance to breathe and say thank you, what a beautiful night I've had. We're not in gratitude. So learn to be in gratitude first. The minute you start feeling bad about yourself, depressed, alone, it's very difficult. Before you get to the depressive state, I would advise that seek help and know that you're going down a rabbit hole and instantly arrest it before it gets worse. So that will only come with self-awareness. As I keep saying, self-awareness is a constant everyday practice of introspection. So instead of looking at the social media, just before going to sleep at night, be in gratitude. Either have a gratitude book where you write down 10 things that you're grateful for that happened on that day, or just think about it. What are the 10 things I'd like to be grateful for? Or to improve your memory, because our attention span has also gone with social media, is start just objectively remembering what you started your day with. It's an excellent exercise to improve your memory, to become sharper. So these are things that you should focus on. It's all about yourself, not about the world. I keep saying that. The world is there, yes, and enjoy knowing what's happening, but don't get entangled in it. To prevent yourself from getting entangled in it, you have to develop self-awareness exercises, which is self-introspection, gratitude, loving yourself, being grateful to everything that you have around you. We take everything for granted. Even the food that we eat, do we thank the food? Do we thank Mother Earth? We live on her planet. Have we ever thanked her? How much she has given us? Every country has a set of vegetables and fruits and a culture which is so dynamic. Are we grateful? Do we acknowledge it? Rather than saying, oh, that person is in Paris, oh, that person is in France, oh, I wish I was there, I wish I was there. Be in gratitude. Just admire, oh wow, Paris looks good, Paris looks interesting. Even when you're looking at Instagram, have a positive outlook.
And I still have another question. These days you see younger generation, one failed relationship, and they start feeling less worthy. They start feeling not good. It's very easy for them to start feeling not very good, or if they had a problem, if their boyfriend or girlfriend dumps them, they feel that, oh, I was not good enough. So I would want you to give a message to the younger generation.
I think,
how do they cope with a relationship failure?
I think every relationship is teaching you something. Look at what the relationship has taught you. Even if it has been a very caustic relationship, or a toxic one, or an aggressive one, understand that, okay, that came to me for me to learn that the next time I'm not going to make the same mistake. Rather than look at it as an obstacle and bog you down. Nothing in life is meant to take you backward. Or everything in life, always look at the positive of what that relationship taught you. What does it help you to understand? Oh, next time I'm going to notice that if the other person has got a short temper, which I've already faced, I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. I've got to build my self-worthiness up for that. Take therapy, go to advisors, seek help. Don't be afraid of help, because you're all young. You all need to learn. Earlier, we used to go to our parents to talk to. These days, youngsters feel parents are not, will never understand them. If you have great parents, go talk to them. Don't be afraid. If you can't afford a therapist, talk to a friend, talk to anyone. There's always someone you can talk to. And there's always something you can learn from someone. It's just having a change of attitude. Don't think you know it all. Today we all have this feeling that, oh, I know it all. You don't have to tell me anything. Don't have that attitude. Have the attitude of learning, observing, listening, and taking the best out of the situation. Then you will be a success. It could be even an advice on social media. Take that up and follow it through. But we just listen. We turn that thing, page for the next one. Even before you heard the first, you want to, next 10 you want to hear. Don't. Listen to 3 and shut it. And say, okay, what have I learned from this? Pause. Don't be the one who wants
all the
to.
time.
Yeah, everyone's on a run. We are all running. I feel that energy even now. Like I feel the world is becoming chaotic. There's just chaos. The energy on the earth is just chaos. Everyone is in chaos, some form or the other of chaos. So then turn inward. Go practice yoga or art or pottery or anything that you like that will give you away from this chaos for half an hour to 1 hour every day. Whatever it takes.
So, if somebody has faced failed relationship, he when it comes to say loving himself or herself, they should engage into activities that they love doing. Is what
Number
are you
1,
trying to-
engage in activities you love doing. Number 2, sometimes even just sit and write down. What did you hate about the relationship? What did you love about the relationship? Because when you're writing, you're actually talking to your subconscious mind, which is 90% of your personality. So there's a lot of learning that will come if you write every day. If you feel anger, write it down. What are you angry about? That person. And every day you will start seeing, sometimes just take that piece of paper and burn it, which is another therapy. It's therapeutic. When you burn what you've written, you feel that release. You feel that letting go. Even if you don't want to go to a therapist, you can be your own therapist. Write, introspect, write, and you'll see if you do it every day, then that writing will become less and less aggressive. And inside that inner tuning will come in and say, okay, even I was wrong. Lots of realizations will come in that thing. It's all a very personal thing. There is no hard and fast rule, but all these are tools that can help you to help yourself. We don't help ourselves. So these are the tools that we can help ourselves. Another very important thing that you can do when you're having a failed relationship is to learn to forgive yourself as well as forgive the other person. Okay, just say I forgive you and just keep saying it. You may not want to forgive the other person, you want to wring his neck or her neck, but just keep saying it. I forgive you and I ask you to forgive me. So these are just, these are simple statements that you make, but when you keep repeatedly making it, you will start detaching yourself from the emotion of hate, anger, resentment, and you will start just feeling lighter, because these are very, very powerful words of vibration. Like if you're like even standing in a queue and you're going to the when you go to check in for your aircraft, you'll have everyone wanting to rush as if the aircraft is going to go away, and they'll tug at you and they'll push at you and you get really annoyed, but the minute the person says sorry, what happens?
It just immediately changes the way we look at things.
Doesn't it?
Absolutely.
That's it. So these are just simple tools. They're powerful. The minute a person says, "Oh, your anger just
vanishes,"
sorry, bola, what to say to him. right? But till that person doesn't say sorry, you want to get ahead of him and hit him and do something, it's like when driving a car, road rage. What is it? I mean, you just want to kill the other person, but the minute the person says, sorry boss, I made a mistake, you also wave back and say, no problem, and the smile comes, isn't it? It's so powerful.
Yeah.
So simple words like thank you, a smile, when you come home, you have security guard who say namaste, namaste. Do you even look at them? You just walk past as if it's your mighty right that he said namaste to you and you feel so egoistic, or you don't even feel anything, but you don't return the respect that that person has given you. But if you say hello, yeah, hi, thank you, he feels so happy. मैं bag पकड़ूं, मैं ये करूं. He's out there to please you. The minute you acknowledge and say thank you, it changes the entire vibe of a relationship. Be it anybody, even a stranger, it's just so nice to say thank you. Or such a simple thing is smile. We rarely smile, just smile at a person. It doesn't matter, you're going for a walk, just smile. I've seen people, when I smile, they like me, you're smiling at me and they won't even smile back. It's like this energy of a smile is so powerful. It relaxes you, it changes the vibration. So these are simple things that if you do, your relationship with yourself as well as everyone around you will begin to change. Bring laughter, bring fun, make things funny, make serious things look funny in your own head to lighten up the atmosphere
Of your own head.
And when you're doing that, you're affecting the atmosphere of the universe, not even the world, you're affecting the universe. So bring more laughter, gratitude, forgiveness, and let go. Don't take life so seriously, yaar. It's just a game, play it.
So, in the end, I would also again want to ask this question. What are the kind of outdoor activities that one could look at that raise the vibration of your being?
The most beautiful thing is if you have, even if you can't go out, if you have a window, you have a tree outside the window, you have a plant growing in your house, just look at that plant and just thank the plant. Just keep looking, just keep zoning in. Forget about your problems and what it is and everything. Just leave everything aside and just keep observing that plant. You will actually feel the plant talking back to you. If you zone into anything with nature, nature talks back to you. They say being next to nature is like being next to God. And if you truly zone in, even if it is just a flower, flower changes the energies of the house. They have the highest vibration. A rose just gives its fragrance. It doesn't ask you for thank you or anything. It just gives its fragrance. That's its nature. The beauty that it brings. If you just look at a rose and you look at the petals and you just look at it, your entire vibration will change. Look at a sunset, look at a tree, look at a plant, look at anything that is outside of your material world and you will find peace. Look up at the sky, you'll see birds flying and you'll be fascinated. Wow, look at the way the birds, you'll feel free. You'll actually start feeling the freedom if you keep watching the birds flying and flapping.
Something inside you expands.
Yeah, it just expands, doesn't it? Look at the trees, look at the sky, look at the clouds. Look at the way the clouds fluffy one day, so even one day. It's so different. There's so much variety around us, but we don't observe because we're too busy in our little worlds, So detach from this little world. Whenever it stresses you out, whenever you feel, okay, I'm getting overloaded with this information, stop. Don't indulge in it. It's like addiction. Anything that you do, do everything in life, I say, but do it in balance. The minute that starts controlling you, that's the time you need to shut up.
But how do you realize that?
As I said, self-awareness.
Yeah, you've been talking about self-awareness from the
Self-awareness,
beginning.
yes.
Whether it's
Self-awareness.
thoughts, whether it's anything that overpowers your mind or gets into addiction, that needs to be brought to control with Awareness.
From within. Your journey is your own. You have to know this. You are not here to please anyone around you but yourself first. If you give your space away to anybody else, don't blame the other person, because you've given your space to the other person. Tell me, would you bring dirt in the house?
No.
You honor your space, don't you? So if kuch bhi kachra aayega, what do? You pick it up and throw it in the bin. Why don't we do it with our thoughts?
That's so beautiful.
Why don't we do it with our energies? Safeguard your space and know that the minute someone is influencing you negatively, it is your fault, not the other person's fault, because you allowed that person to come into your space.
So here's something I want to ask, Anu. I'm sure many people would want to know this. Once you have understood this entire thing, you have absorbed, you have digested, does it happen that the next time it happens with you, you are unaware still, but
course.
within a few minutes you come back to awareness? Does that happen?
Absolutely.
But you have already you've gone past the event and then realized.
That's okay, but how many times? See, each time you realize it, the depression span or the feeling bad span becomes lesser and lesser.
Yeah.
Because you you suddenly realize, oh, why am I giving my space away to that person? So you will this is not going to happen overnight. What I'm giving you, all these solutions, it's going to be a process. But within 3 months to 6 months, you'll see such a change in you. Other people will start noticing it and will start telling you. These are all indications that okay, I'm feeling good, now someone else is noticing it. Now supposing you are not in the habit of saying sorry, okay, and so when you don't say sorry, what happens? The grudge remains, right? Now when you start saying sorry, you start feeling so much better because the grudge goes. So everything starts changing. Then you will understand, hey, why am I being such an egoist and not saying sorry? What is wrong in saying sorry? What is this? You're just making somebody else happier. It doesn't matter. You're not proving whether you're right and wrong. And how does it matter whether you're right or wrong? Who are you proving it to? You know you're right, no? So if you have to say sorry to another person to make the other person happy, so be it. That's what I'm saying, don't cling on to your beliefs. The more you cling on, the more you're building a wall. Why are you building walls with people? Life is just meant to be enjoyed. It's not meant to be building grudges and karma and heaviness in your life. You're supposed to make your life lighter. So let's make everyone's life lighter. Say thank you, smile, forgive, simple things, and love yourself.
So I think the takeaway for me today was love yourself, gratitude, to sum it up all, gratitude, loving yourself, forgiveness,
laughter,
fun, joy, happiness. And I have known Anu for quite some time now, say about 2 to 3 years. Her personality, each time we meet and whenever she rubs on me, I start feeling positive. And that's the reason why I wanted to have a podcast with her. So I think it's over the period of years that she has practiced what she's speaking. She is not simply preaching out of a space where she's not practiced enough. She has practiced, then she's come to a point wherein she changed it herself and then come to a point where she's preaching it, and which is what reflects in her personality and if I may say overflows out of her personality. So I think that's the takeaway from this podcast. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Aarti, for having me.
Thank you. Thanks, Anu.